As you will have heard today, this government is very committed to this bid. The sector over which I have oversight is a modern telecommunications infrastructure that competes globally. And so too as the broadcasting sector that also competes globally. Our intentions, of course, are to meet the needs and demands of both the private sector using high-end technology, including advanced ATM networks. Our challenges are to extend high-speed links into rural areas and smaller towns, and we're hoping to be able to achieve this certainly by 2010. We hope to have saturated the telecommunications links. We have required a framework to inspire investor confidence and flexible deployment of technologies, and we are moving certainly with regard to policy as well as involvement in technology development to that end. We certainly want to demonstrate an ability to attract private investment to the sector, and this has been happening over the years and continues to do so. There's a great deal of interest in this sector for us. Our vision as a department and as a sector is to create a knowledge-based society, to help in the creation of an information economy, and we're working actively towards the policy and a legislative framework in that direction, to establish a network information community to empower people in the way they work and the way they live and in the way they play, and to make South Africa globally competitive. And certainly within the continent, we have been able to achieve that and working to actually better the status that we have within the continent. Our goals are, of course, to establish universal access and service for the communications sector. In particular, we're focusing on a wide sector of the community and not just a minority within our community. Our goal is also to position South Africa as a regional and global communications hub. We have been able to do a tremendous amount of work, both in terms of policy and regulation, but also in terms of joint ventures or working together on special projects within the SADC region. We also intend to create a high-speed fiber optics backbone to connect South Africa, and that backbone has been laid in some areas and connected to other parts of the continent from the east to the west. We have created a pool of professionals to meet the job demands, but certainly this changing sector demands much more than what we have already produced, and there is a constant and skilling of people, and we are part of the Human Resource Development Committee of the Cabinet, which works on this. We have done a great deal to promote public and private sector partnerships because these are very, very important for us. Telkom itself is an indication, as we know, as you probably know, that in part our telecommunications company, Telkom, has a strategic equity partner. We are certainly also looking for partners in the signal distribution area. And we have published new policy directives and new laws, and many of these are still in the making, especially those that deal with electronic commerce. In terms of seeing communications and development, because the link is quite stark for us, direct positive correlation between communications infrastructure and per capita growth is clearly seen in our economy. And we are very confident that we have laid the necessary foundations, and it is now for us to build it's now for us to focus on building applications. We also have a very strong postal service network that is now connecting us certainly within the SADC region, but also looking forward, especially after the UPU conference in China, with the rest of the continent. Previously not accessible to all, post offices are certainly being made accessible to everyone. We're changing the technologies so that the technology is being developed, some in-house, some externally, is in order to enable our own ordinary people in rural areas, in townships, to actually have access to technologies that otherwise they have not been exposed to. Particularly, we are concerned with the access to government, and therefore we have developed what is called a public information terminal that makes government accessible to ordinary people in post offices, and we will, in rural areas and communities. And we will be rolling this out this year. Our vision is to create a multi-purpose post offices, so that it's not post offices in the old tradition, but post offices that can do all kinds of things, be able to connect pensioners, financial services to ordinary people, to give every South African a postal and physical and telephone as well as an internet address. These are ambitious schemes, but they are possible because we have already started working on this. With regard to other information, I have asked that the Director General would be able to give any information that is additional to what I've said. I've laid out the broad policy and legislative framework for you to have an understanding of where it is that we are going. Interconnectivity between ourselves, the continent, and the world is something that the Director General might want to speak to, because that is very important for us. And I'd like to thank you very much.